All right, so far we've learned about a number of DC circuit analysis techniques such as a voltage divider, a current divider, a nodal analysis. We looked at what a super node was. And then we also learned another technique called superposition, where we took advantage of multiple sources and their effect in trying to simplify a circuit. Today we'll look at a concept called Thevenin Equivalent Circuit. Okay, so let me quickly give you an example that I just made up. So imagine we're working with a heat exchanger, something like this. Okay, heat exchanger. It has a electrical component associated with it, some kind of power supply, and then a way to regulate the heat and so forth. Okay, this heat exchanger also has a thermometer, electrical thermometer, which tells you what the current temperature is. So the temperature is going to change, right? So maybe that electrical thermometer, I mean, here's a thermometer, right? And maybe that electrical thermometer changes its resistance. And that's how most of the thermocouples or thermistors that you see that are used to measure temperature actually work. They change the resistance uh, based on the temperature they're subjected to. So here's a typical curve of a electrical temperature sensor that's changing its resistance as the temperature changed. Okay, so so this is what we have. So now imagine this, right? So there's this control circuitry with the power and so forth, and then there's a temperature that's changing. Okay, so maybe you sat down and you decided, you know what? I know DC circuit analysis, and let me draw that circuit. Okay, so let's say this is what you came up with. So imagine, okay, of course this is totally made up, right? This circuit is not, I emphasize, it is not inside that heat exchanger, right? I just made it up. Okay, so let's say that you now see a circuit, and this thing right here is supposed to be the exchange control circuit, and here's of course the thermometer, right? So that thermometer is the one that we said is an electrical thermometer which changes its resistance. Okay, which changes its resistance with time. And then this is a control circuit, and maybe it's equivalent to a 32 volt DC supply, and then bunch of resistors in there, a current supply, and so forth. So now, if you take a look at this circuit, right, every parameter, this voltage source is fixed at 32 volt. It does not change. This 4 ohm resistor is fixed at 4 ohm. It does not change. Same thing with this 12 ohm resistor, this 2 amp current source, and this 1 ohm resistor. They don't change in the circuit, right? So in this box, imagine that circuit actually existed here, right? So that doesn't change. The only thing that changes in this box is the resistance that's measured by this thermometer, right? So the change in the resistance as the temperature changes. So in this whole circuit, right, the only thing that changes is this parameter right here. Now imagine this. Now imagine doing a nodal analysis, and I ask you, hey, guys, tell me what is the current going through this 4 ohm uh, supply. If I ask you that question, what is the current passing through this 4 ohm resistor? Or maybe I asked you a question, hey, what's the voltage across this 12 ohm resistor right here? Now, since this resistance changes so much, right? Since this resistance changes so much, how many different circuit analysis calculations are you going to do? Okay, let's say maybe I say, hey, tell me what is that 10 degrees, and then you have to do nodal analysis on the circuit. Oh, great, I draw a current here, VA minus VB and so forth, apply our nodal analysis techniques, and then you say, oh, what is it at 30 degrees? Oh, different resistor values, so I got to do another nodal analysis. Well, nodal analysis is not difficult, of course. We've already seen that. It's pretty formulaic. It's pretty algorithmic. Once you get the hang of it, it's basically applying the exact same techniques, right? Identify the nodes, apply Kirchhoff's current law at that node, then use Ohm's law to change that current into a voltage and resistance ratio. And then solve these expressions, and voila, you have the voltage at the nodes. And then using that voltage at the node, you find your currents. So how many? It might be formulaic and algorithmic and pretty straightforward, but doing this, how many times are you going to do it? Hundreds of times, thousands of times on this particular circuit. It can be mind numbing, and it can just be too much. So a better way is to identify the fact that, wait a second, everything in this blue highlighted box right here does not change. If that doesn't change and only one thing changes, why don't I try to see what this circuit simplifies to? what this circuit simplifies to, and then we'll say, well, I'll apply just this changing node to that. And that's exactly what Thevenin equivalent circuit or the Thevenin theorem says. It basically says that in any linear circuit that has a resistor, a capacitor, an inductor, these are some of the primary elements. Okay, so in our case, we've only worked with resistors, so just stay with resistors for now. And it basically says in any linear circuit, you can take a complicated circuit or even more complicated circuit like this with multiple voltage sources, multiple resistors, multiple current sources. And what you can do is you can actually simplify all of that to a very simple circuit consisting of an equivalence of one voltage source and one resistance. That's what the Thevenin theorem says. It basically says any linear circuit can be replaced with one voltage source and one series source. So, and one series resistance. So what that means is if I have a circuit like this, right, what's the part of the resistance that changes? That's this one right here. I call that node A and node B. And that resistance right there that's changing is between node A and B. Okay, so it's basically saying if I look at the circuit and I have this linear circuit where I have a node that I can identify across which things change, but the rest are the same, then I can replace the things that don't change with this kind of circuit. Right? So in this case, I see this blue highlighted box is the one that does not change. So what we're saying is that let's take what's inside that blue highlighted box, that was this, and we'll replace that with this. And then the only thing we have left now to do is a simple circuit like. Now take a look at this. Dealing with this circuit, even if I told you I wanted to find out what the parameters were for 10 degrees or 20 degrees or 30 degrees, it becomes a very simple voltage divider circuit. I can figure that out fairly quickly. Right? I can work on this simplified circuit a lot easier. So this circuit right here is not identical to this, but electrically it is equivalent to what I see here. So if I am, imagine that my eyes are situated right here. Okay, so I'm gonna actually draw my eyes, right? So let's say I'm looking at right here. So these are my eyes, okay? And I'm looking at something node A and B. And what I see in this circuit is not identical to it, but from an electrical point of view, it is equivalent. So if I sat here and looked at this original circuit across terminal A and terminal B, okay, if I looked at what is in this guy right here, if I look at that, these two are going to be equivalent to each other, okay? So what we're going to do next is basically look at how do we go from this to this. So how do I go from this complicated circuit to this? And we'll use Thevenin's theorem to do that. And I'm going to list the Thevenin theorem first, and then we'll see that using that Thevenin theorem, I can see that this whole thing can be replaced by a single voltage source that's 30 volts, and that this whole thing can be modeled by a single resistor in series with that voltage source, and that resistor is going to be 4 ohms. Okay. By the way, it's a coincidence that this 4 ohm resistor, that's a Thevenin resistance, right, is the same value as this. Okay, it has nothing to do with just this. Okay, this is just a pure coincidence that the circuit I randomly picked had 4 ohm looking right in series with a voltage source. Okay, but how do we get these values? Now that's what the recipe is going to tell us. So the Thevenin recipe, I'm quickly just going to list it, and then you can watch my next video on how to actually apply this recipe. So the Thevenin recipe says identify the load in the circuit. So essentially, for our purpose, the load is the circuit parameter that's going to change. In our case, that was the temperature sensor right here. So that's our load. Okay, and it says, well, get rid of that load. So remove it completely. So take that break this electrical connection. Then now you have to do two analysis on this circuit. One analysis to find the Thevenin voltage. Okay, and the other analysis is to find the Thevenin resistance. And I list the recipe right here. It's also on my Canvas notes. And then what we'll do is in the next video, we'll take this particular circuit, walk through this recipe. We'll apply this recipe, and we'll see how we end up with this particular circuit node. Okay, so that is Thevenin equivalent circuit, and it really is useful in trying to make sure that we can simplify the analysis of circuits where there's a variability in the load.